Y'all know what time it is? Back with another one. Now, this one we going to do. Now, if y'all wondering, why I'm still throwing out these older dogs, because this the History Channel. For one, y'all done seen them newer dogs enough. Everybody talk about them because that's the only thing that most of them talk about. Most of them probably ain't got dogs with papers and study the history. Everybody doing the same thing. Like I said, this channel is for the real ones. That's what this channel for. Okay. And we're going to talk about the real history. Let me give you a perfect example. When you put in the GPS on the maps, you can't get to where you going unless you know where you starting from. The GPS say, what is the beginning starting point? If you got Raleigh to Charlotte and it don't know you in Raleigh, how it's going to tell you how to get there? And it's the same thing about this history. If we don't start from the beginning, back where it's, unknown and the dogs coming from Staffordshire Terriers and stuff, how you going to get to the up close dogs? You ain't. Well, you is going to get there and you ain't going to really know where they coming from. That ain't going to happen on this channel. Y'all going to understand that these Staffshires and Amstaffs and Pit Bulls, they all pretty much the same. That's them kennel clubs and Google and all that trying to put names on this stuff. They all bulldogs, they all bully breeds. If you know, you know. Now, if you actually fed the stuff, I wouldn't have to keep telling most of y'all this. And I know some of y'all smart ones already know this anyway. But, like I said, you got new people always coming on my channel. I'm about 70 something from hitting 1,000. So, you got new people coming up here. So I got to, keep reiterating and make sure these new people know too. You can't listen to everything on Google and listen to everything. You listen to, if you was driving trucks, would you listen to a guy that's been driving trucks 20 years or 30 years or 40 years and he tell you how the truck business going and how it's going to go, or you going to listen to Google and AI and how it tell you it's fit to go? You think about it. All right? We're going to get into this one. Galvin's pup. Okay. Now you can look at Galvin's pup. You can see the Amstaff in him, and the Staffordshire Terrier. You can see it. He looked like a bulldog. He looked like a pit bull. Yeah, American pit bull terrier. Yeah, that's what he turned into by the time, the breedings got into it. We're going to get into it, but you can see the Amstaff in him. You can see that block head. You can see that shorter nose. Now let me give y'all another example. Y'all know this is the Show and Tell channel. Now who does Galvin pup kind of look like? Whoa. Now how many dogs y'all see look like this in 2025 when people are showing dogs on YouTube and videos and shit, stuff? You don't see too many dogs looking like this. Like I said, papers don't matter. Papers don't matter. That's like Elon Musk and all these scientists and grow plants and everything. It's like them not taking documentation of what they've been doing for generations on and how they got to what they got to. How you gonna know how you got there if you don't be documenting it? So once again, I can show and tell y'all all day long. This stuff that people be saying just don't make no sense. Those are people that don't got papers or don't got classic blood papers or ain't been breeding the dogs for 20, 30, been breeding the dogs for years on years on years, and they don't understand the art to this thing. And that's probably why their dogs ain't top level. If they are top level, it's because they got it. They were smart enough to get it from somebody that know what they doing, and they were smart enough to keep it. Okay? But now the difference in that dog is you can see the American Pit Bull Terrier in him because, for one, this is a 6-month, 7-month puppy or something like that. So, of course, it's going to look different. But the nose, that's that American Pit Bull Terrier nose. That's that long nose. You see? Galvin pup, his nose ain't quite like that. It's more of the Staffordshire nose. You see? I got some boys that got my dogs, and they've been on the top of the mountain for quite a long time. Nobody don't know who dogs they got, but that's another story. And this is for entertainment and educational uses only. Some stuff might be true, some stuff might not be true. It's for entertainment, information and educational uses only. And one thing he was saying about them dogs when he was like, man, I'm gonna start looking for them dogs with them long noses. Like they everywhere. Only certain people got dogs like that. That's that old blood. You ain't just gonna find that everywhere. Dogs with long noses. You know what I mean? That long snout. And it's more than that. It's just the blood. The blood is the blood. But we got Galvin pup. Pretty impressive dog. If you know, you know. John Galvin was the owner. Brindle. The pup won 9 without making a turn. He defeated Gregory Brindle in 2 hours and 47. The fight took place on November 1890. Not even 1900s, 1890. Y'all see how far this stuff go back? Classic stuff, tried and true. Don't reinvent the wheel. The real bulldogs, the real dog, the American Pit Bull Terrier. You can't beat it. I don't care what kind of breeds they come out with and try to say this is that and the other. They all got pit bull probably bred in them. But they just make them bigger or whatever, Alright. Come from Woburns Bucky and Woburns Jumbo. Burke's Bucky. John T. Moore's bitch. Burke's Tanner. Pretty impressive dog. Gas House bitch. If you know about the Gas House classic stuff. Burke's Spring. Pretty impressive dog. Bobtail bitch. Unknown. There go Bobtail bitch again. That been inbred right there. Burke's and John. Bitch. John T. Moore's bitch. Inbred right there. When you see that right there, the 3rd generation, that's how you know. Bob the Fool. They like that Bob, don't they? Ward's Crib. Immigrants, white bitch. Immigrants. That's why immigrants, because been imported. An immigrant brought the dog in from somewhere. Another Staffordshire Terrier. Okay. Couldn't have been American Pit Bull Terrier because they bringing it in from somewhere. Ride with me now. Blind Buck. Bobtail bitch again. Inbreeding. Jennings. Imported Bowler. Imported again. Staffordshire Terrier. McBurrow's Fly. And that's inbred right there where you see the same stuff with imported right there off the Bobtail bitch. Okay. And Burke Spring again. And time, so see how it's inbred? It's all inbred. So this ain't nothing new the way they've been inbreeding these dogs. That's why papers matter, so you can see how the dog's inbred. So if you want to keep inbreeding them more, or you need to stop and do some outcrossing and come back, you see what I'm saying? You got to know how to put this stuff together. And that's how these dogs recreate themselves over and over again. And it's other stuff, it's other dogs that is coming from too to get this dog. But that's what I'm telling you. That stuff recreates itself from generations back, way back from the 1800s to the early 1900s. These dogs will reincarnate. If you know, you know. Okay? You don't see no winners and no champions all up in here. Bulldog. See, everybody wants to see lights and all this. Like that stuff ain't gonna matter if the dog is the dog. You see, one day, when they get this thing like a UFC, you remember UFC used to not be on TV and stuff like that. One day, whenever they figure it out and tax it, all these stories and all these fictitious stuff, that stuff gonna get thrown out the window, and everybody gonna see that it don't matter that the daddy a champion, the mommy a champion, the granddaddy. That don't matter when a master breeder doing some master breeding. That don't matter. You still gonna create bulldogs. Okay? When you know what you're doing. Alright, so let's click a couple of these because we at 9 minutes. I know y'all attention span is some of y'all about to click off any minute already, and that's fine. This information ain't for y'all. Like I said, this is only for the real. Alright, so let's do a little clicking. Let's click Bucky. This dog was also known as McCarthy's Bucky. McCarthy's Bucky, you know. Alright. And let's kick Jumbo. Jumbo was also known as Burke's Jumbo. So it had different names, you know, co-owners or soul or whatever, you know. Alright. Now I told y'all when you're reading the pedigrees, this is the action right here, that second generation, the quarter. So Burke's Bucky. Alright. Come off of Burke's Spring. Okay. And come off Bob's Tail Bitch. Alright, so let's look at Burke's Spring a little bit. Burke Spring gained fame after he won 9 battles in a year time. You know, that's pretty impressive. Alright. And then you can see unknown. These are all Staffs, or Staffshire Terriers mostly, probably because they was imported. Okay, let's see if we can get a little information. Ain't got much from Blind Book. Bobtail Bitch. This dog was also known as Coating's Molly. Dogs got different names. Okay. Let's look at imported Bowler. Nothing up there for her. So, McMurrow's Fly. Fly won a number of battles. Said he won a number of battles. Ain't nothing lit up on the pedigree. See? Ain't nothing lit up on how it's breed. But he was a but she was a bulldog, was a female. Okay. Let's see what Jennings White Billy say. Nothing on that. Evans Bitch, nothing on that. See? Like I said, these dogs was imported, so they don't got no information on some of that stuff. Alright. Now, let's see here. That's inbred off the same Brawler right there, so. And so, that's Burke's. Let's check out that. Let's check out T. Moore's bitch. Alright, she imported, she bred the same way, but owned by Mr. John T. Moore, who was one of the sport's first black fanciers. You see that? One of the sport's first black fanciers. History. John T. Moore. Y'all ever heard about him? They ever talk about him? The daddy unknown. Bobtail Bitch was the mama. Most likely a Staffshire Terrier. Imported and turned into American Staffshire Terrier. Okay. But that's Bob T. Moore's bitch. That was a black man. One of the first. Okay. Let's see what about Burke's Tanner. There go Burke's Tanner. You see? That Amstaff. See how he breed. Unknown mama. Spring still. John T. Moore bitch still, and all that's unknown. And the imported stuff. Bulldog. Okay. And let's look at Gas House bitch, and we'll be done. This one won't be short and sweet. Hopefully I start making these a little shorter, because y'all attention span is you know what anyway. So, but we got Gas House bitch, aka Sweetney's Fly. And there you see imported again, Immigrants White bitch. And Ward's Crib. Let's see what that got here. Unknown. Ward's Crib. Nothing there. Immigrants White bitch. You know, nothing there. So, like I said, this is just a little short and sweet one. Galvin's pup. Heavy off in Burke Spring. Gang dogs. Staffordshire Terriers. Imported. Okay. Way in the late 1900s, before the early 1800s, late 1800s, before 1900 stuff like this was going on. You see? And when you know how to breed it right, you can reincarnate it. Show and tell. All right. So this one was short and sweet. We got another one coming soon. We'll get to some of it. We'll eventually get to some of them, newer dogs that y'all gonna know sooner or later. But I'm gonna make sure y'all understand where these dogs is coming from. They Staffordshire Terriers turned to American Staffordshire Terriers, turned to American Pit Bull Terriers. All pretty much the same dogs. They just got different names for them. Just like they want to name people black and name people white and name people Spanish and all that, just because when we all humans. You see? These are all bulldogs. The real thing when it comes to warriors. Alright? So we got another video coming soon. Stay tuned. Peace.